Section 1. What it actually does. Let's start with a concrete scenario. You run a SaaS product. You have 500 paying customers on Stripe. Some of them are about to cancel, and right now, you have no idea who they are until they actually hit that cancel button. ChurnGuard AI is an open source tool that tries to change that equation. Here's what it does in practice. You connect it to your Stripe account. The system pulls your subscription data, payment history, failed charges, plan downgrades, usage patterns if you feed them in, and runs that through a churn prediction model. The output is a scored list of customers ranked by their likelihood to cancel. But here's the part that's actually interesting. Most churn tools stop there. ChurnGuard doesn't. Once it identifies high-risk customers, it hands those profiles to an LLM, in this case using OpenAI's API, and that model generates a personalized retention message for each customer. Not a template, not a mail merge, an actual message that references what that specific customer has been doing, what plan they're on, what problems they might be having. So in a real demo flow, you'd see something like customer flagged as high risk, 78% churn probability, last login 23 days ago, had a failed payment in the last billing cycle. The LLM output is a suggested email that says something like, "Hey Sarah, we noticed you haven't logged in for a few weeks. We know onboarding can be overwhelming. Here's one feature that our users in your industry find most valuable." And it goes on from there. The whole stack is open source, built in Python, and it's designed to run locally or on a server you control. There's a dashboard interface where you can review the predictions and the generated messages before anything gets sent. You're always in the loop. Section 2. What it does not do. Alright, let's be real about the limitations because there are real ones here. First, the churn prediction model is only as good as the data you give it. If you only connect Stripe, you're working with financial signals, payment behavior, plan changes, billing failures. That's useful. But churn prediction gets dramatically more accurate when you combine it with product usage data, logins, feature adoption, support tickets. ChurnGuard doesn't have native integrations with Mixpanel, Amplitude, or your own database yet. You'd need to pipe that data in manually. Second, this is not a set it and forget it system. The LLM generated messages are suggestions. They need human review. We've seen these models hallucinate specific details, misread context, or produce messages that are technically accurate but tonally off. If you automate sending without reviewing, you will eventually send something embarrassing. The tool has a review step. Use it. Third, the prediction model out of the box is relatively simple. It's not a deep learning ensemble trained on millions of SaaS data points. It's a starting baseline. For a small SaaS with a few hundred customers, that's probably fine. For a company with complex subscription tiers and a large customer base, you'd likely need to retrain or swap out the model. And finally, and this matters, there's no native email sending integration. The tool generates the messages, but actually sending them requires you to hook it up to your own email system. That's a reasonable design choice for an open source tool, but don't go in expecting a one-click email campaign solution. Section 3. What it could realistically do in the future. So where could this go? Let's stay grounded. No sci-fi. Just realistic next steps. The most obvious improvement is richer data integration. A Mixpanel or segment connector would transform this from Stripe-based billing signals to actual product engagement signals. That delta in prediction accuracy is significant. The second natural evolution is intervention tracking. Right now, the tool predicts churn and generates a message. What it doesn't do is close the loop. Did the message work? Did that customer stay? Building that feedback layer would let the system improve over time, and it would also give you actual ROI data on your retention efforts. A third realistic direction is multi-channel interventions. Right now, it's email copy. But retention outreach could also be in-app messages, a flag for your customer success team, or a targeted discount trigger. The architecture could support this without fundamental changes. And for teams deploying this on infrastructure they manage, if you're running this on a cloud server, something like DigitalOcean would be a natural fit here, since the tool is Python-based and designed for self-hosted deployment. Straightforward setup, predictable costs. The core idea, predict churn, then automatically draft a human reviewable intervention, that workflow is sound. The gap between now and genuinely useful is mostly about data richness and the feedback loop. Those are solvable problems. Section 4. Why it exists. Let's zoom out for a second. Why does a tool like this exist? Churn is one of the most expensive problems in SaaS. Acquiring a new customer costs anywhere from 5 to 25 times more than retaining an existing one. Those numbers are widely cited, and they hold up. Every customer who cancels represents not just lost revenue, but the cost of acquiring them in the first place. The problem is that most early stage and mid stage SaaS companies don't have the data infrastructure or the team size to do churn prediction properly. Enterprise tools like Gainsight or ChurnZero exist, but they're priced for companies with dedicated customer success teams and real budgets. A bootstrapped SaaS founder with 300 customers can't justify a $1,000 a month tool. ChurnGuard is the answer to, what if you could get 70% of the value for free, running on your own infrastructure without giving your customer data to a third-party platform? The LLM intervention layer is the bet that personalization at scale is actually achievable for small teams. Historically, writing personalized retention emails for 50 at-risk customers would take a customer success person a full day. If an LLM can draft those in seconds, and a human just reviews and approves, that's a real workflow improvement. Is the current version production ready for every SaaS? Probably not out of the box. But as a foundation that a technical founder can deploy, customize, and build on, it's a serious starting point. And that's exactly the kind of tool this channel exists to cover.